I talk to you about social media, Father Bob.
Yes.
Now, Father Bob is a ferocious Twitterer.
I'm not doing it now.
No, but so I recommend.
Some of them are.
I recommend you follow Father Bob. You can keep tabs on his movements all day, every day. A fantastic social media advocate, Father Bob is. Now, I'd like you to advise AFL players on social media. What would your advice be, in particular to Alastair and Benny? They've got their charges, their Richmond charges, their Hawthorn charges. Social media, what's your point of view?
Well, cut their thumbs off. Isn't it? I mean, I notice now with baptisms of children, the baby is now born, the latest model, with a longer thumb. And somebody said, but what? I said, because the baby's ready to text.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, because we used to use our feet. Remember in the old days, any old babies there? We used to lie on the ground and used to send messages by foot. You know, how are you? You know, is she coming back? All this kind of stuff. It was all done by the feet. But now it's all being done, you know, you've got people sitting in under the... I catch Safran sometimes at the ABC. He's talking to somebody, a guest, the same time he's...
That's right.
Sending messages under the desk, you know.
Yeah.
What a bloody idiot this bloke is or something, you know.
So you're...
I'm saying it's a brave new world. You know this better than I do. There's a virtual world out there.
Indeed.
You see, and people are getting lonelier and lonelier and lonelier and... Get the violin again.
Yeah.
Lonelier.
I wanted lonely as a cloud.
That in fact they're spending much more emotional energy in cyberspace than they are in real space.
So, Alastair, social media, it can be risky, of course, if you're in the public eye. So how do you advise your guys on it?
We just take their phones away from them. We did that once last year.
I suppose that is better than chopping their thumbs off anyway.
That caused a bit of a stir, particularly amongst the wives and partners. But we like to... It's difficult because we can't control the players' lives either. They need to live, and if it's part of mainstream society, then we can't be withdrawing things that's their individual choice. So we can advise them of to be very, very cautious and to be careful.
About what? Because I think for me this feels a little bit like do something and think something if you want, but just don't get caught. Because you said, I think, Russell, if I'm not putting words in your mouth, that how do you advise them about not tweeting and not twittering? But really,
no, it's just social media policy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the policy may well be go for your lives.
Yeah. Just don't think dumb things before you write the dumb things.
Well, perhaps that might be the policy, but. You know, obviously the use of social media by the players allows the public to engage more with the players. So it's very difficult.
Only risky behaviour if you've got a risky behaviour. You see.
However, try this one for size. We all know there's no such thing as a secret anymore. All of us know that. So does that mean that they can have whatever thought they like and Twitter it? Because we all know that that's just the vagaries of social media. That's the new world that we're now in.
Yeah, but we have to be trained. I mean, we have to be trained in social media the same as you have to be trained in how to get on with one another socially in real life. You know, you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't, you know. Yes. I think we need to learn the discipline from our parents or whoever the significant others are in our lives.
Yeah.
With this new issue of social, what do you call it?
Just social media. You're Twitterer. You're the Twitterer.
Yeah, I mean, people have got to help the kid to learn what to do and what not to do.
Yes. Benny, sorry. Did you want to...
No, I've got nothing.
You've got nothing to add?
I don't really understand.
I want to talk about betting then. Let's talk about betting.
Yep.
Okay, so I think this to me is a really interesting change in what's going on in all sport, in fact. It's the normalisation of betting in sport. So you're watching the footy and the odds will come up, and then you might go to, in effect, it's an advertorial about the odds brought to you by Sporting Bet. So Alastair, at three-quarter time and you're walking out to address the players at the MCG, you look up at the score, Betfair says you got no chance.
I think that's been squashed now, isn't it? Not allowed to do that.
Is it?
I think so.
Is that gone now?
Gone?
But the odds on the main screen.
Thank God for that.
I don't mind betting, but once again, it's just the saturation of it. If it's just betting on, what the result of the game's going to be, no drama, because that can unfold over a long period of time. It's very, very difficult to get a player or a group of players to actually manufacture a result.
Yeah.
The problem with it is that you now bet on the first goal, so you can manufacture
that. Can be manufactured.
Too right, it can be.
Yeah.
And the blowtorch is directed straight at coaches, at players to say, well, you obviously knew that he was playing forward rather than back this week, and what's stopping you from telling your brother or your cousin or whoever that?
Yep.
If they just had some sort of constraints around the level and saturation of betting, then betting in footy and all sports wouldn't be so bad. But you can bet on how many no balls are going to be in an over.
Yep, that's right.
It's just ludicrous, and no wonder so many people get trapped into it because there's just extraordinary amounts of money, particularly this country as well, but particularly in countries like India and Pakistan. It's just unbelievable.
Angela, how would you control the betting then? Or do you think it should be, or just you're a laissez-faire sort of dude when it comes to gambling?
Well, I've done statistics at Monash, but I have to confess that I've never really been able to understand the odds of betting or anything like that.
Yeah. Although you knew Kevin Rudd didn't stand a chance when the odds were $8.50
yes.
against.
I think from where I sit as a medical professional, any time that anyone partakes in an activity that's in a healthy way and doesn't affect their life, their career, their money, their friends, their welfare, then it can be a part of their life. But once you start to step into those territories where it affects your marriage, your finance, your home, your children, etc., then there's problems. So for me, is betting just another word for gambling, or are we dodging an issue that could be there for everybody?
So Benny, should bet companies be able to sponsor footy clubs in the AFL?
Nice one, Russell. Yeah. Should I disclose my interest here, or? Being a recipient of funds, but a very small amount, I guess. I'm like Angela. I think balance, personal responsibility. But look, I don't like the intrusiveness of going to a game where there's just big crowds and big venues and kids and families. The intrusive nature of it in your face, and that's something that's really crept in. It's certainly crept in the rugby league and commentary.
Yes.
I mean, that goes to the integrity of the game itself. And I just simply, as a punter, as a parent, I don't like seeing odds flashed in my face. And Clarko's right, the AFL have, it may surprise you, but the AFL actually don't own much in the stadiums. The rights associated with stadiums are owned by stadium managers. So when people bake the AFL for $15 buckets of chips and Coke and all that sort of ridiculous stuff, it's really not their fault. Their hands are tied. Same with signage at the MCG. So, but they've negotiated an agreement where you'll see less of that this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's about balance, I guess.